And some of our leaders are also sharing their thoughts.
Local News 8's Febin Kasahoon reached out to local party leaders for their thoughts on the president's executive order. Febin, what'd you find out?
Jane Carroll, I spoke to the chair of the Bonneville County Democrats and the president of the Bonneville County Republican Women, and here's what they had to say. Chairwoman of the Bonneville County Democrats, Miranda Marquette, weighed in on the ban being considered discrimination. She cites the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965.
We're not supposed to be putting a blanket ban against people coming from specific countries. Whatever you want to call it, whatever label you want to put on it, the bottom line is this sort of ban is frankly against our values as Americans.
Stephanie Mickelson is the president of the Bonneville County Republican Women. She says one of President Trump's biggest responsibilities as president is to protect the American people.
I think what he was trying to do in this order was to take a breather, take a pause, if you will, and take the time to look at what the policies are so that he could make Americans safe. Do I agree with how he did it? Maybe not necessarily, but I think that the stopping to say, let's look at what kind of people would have coming in with the current immigration laws was probably the right thing to do.
Both leaders agree that it won't affect the Gem State much. However, Marquette says already Idaho isn't as welcoming to refugees and immigrants as it could be, and worries that this won't make the view of immigrants and refugees any better.
I do think that it will likely inflame more feelings that we have against immigrants and that we have against people of other nationalities.
I don't think it makes a huge impact to Idaho. I think that a lot of immigrants tend to flock to the bigger cities where they'll have communities of people like them. If you go to New York, they'll have a community of Russian people, they have a community of Jewish people, they have different communities because people tend to like.
Mickelson adds that from the Republican women's standpoint, compassion is important.
We have to remember that in a lot of those countries where he put that ban in place, there are a lot of women and children that are treated as property. The women have no rights. And we have to be compassionate enough with our immigration policy that we take into account the safety first for our citizens and then do what we can do on a compassionate humanitarian level.